It's been a busy week with drama. Drama in every corner of the internet, and not just Twitch for once. But this one today comes from the beloved company, or used to be beloved, Rooster Teeth. Now, Rooster Teeth, if you don't know, is this huge digital media company. And honestly, they're known for a lot of people's childhoods. 10 years ago, they were pretty much at their peak, doing series like Minecraft Let's Play on the Xbox 360, where you had some of the frontmen like Jeff, Jack, Michael, Gavin, and Ray just messing about in Minecraft, killing each other, building a house, burning it down, and repeating that for the entire video and making it an entire series.
No!
They also did machinima like Red vs. Blue. I watched so much of that as a kid. It's essentially they go into a Halo map and they just, you know, bob their head up and down, acting like they were talking to each other. All the characters also found this way to like lower their gun. And as a kid, I spent like hours looking up on YouTube and forums. How do you lower your gun in Halo? Like, you know, so I could do machinima. You can do it. It is the most like stupidly complex like Rubik's Cube algorithm. Apparently you've got to hold down like 6 or 7 buttons at the same time and then like zoom in. There were so many stupid things you had to do just to get that. Apart from Red vs. Blue, they're also mostly known for Ruby. I didn't really watch that when it came out, to be fair. I kind of saw the first episode and it just looked like a Sims 2 mod. But the series is still pretty much alive now, so it does have a huge following. But the big drama today in Rooster Teeth revolves around Kaden, jezen, who was a content creator for Rooster Teeth, editor, and also a voice actor, working on loads of projects, for example, Ruby and Red vs. Blue, like I just mentioned prior. Now, before Kaden came out, Rooster Teeth were already in a lot of hot water, mostly because they were letting go loads of employees without giving any kind of reason or explanation, just saying it was undisclosed reasons, which is the most like garbage gray area jargon you could ever use. The problem is with companies, when they let people go and they don't want to specify why, it creates a complete Mandela effect. People want to know why. You're bringing more attention to a situation you don't want anyone to know about. Now, Kaden dropped a monolithic nuke on Twitter, basically explaining how she was treated in the workplace and just working for Rooster Teeth as a company. It really sucks. She went on to say from February to November 2013, she was never paid for any contract work, so working the best part of a year for free? Nice one. Apparently at work as well, she was constantly being called the F slur, and that would bleed into videos that they'd refer to her as fugs, as apparently a way to get around it and still have it in content. Like, I get it, okay? You've got the edgy Discord boys group chat where you post Homelander, Ryan Gosling, and Patrick Bateman saying, oh my god, this is literally me. But this is a workplace. And the fact that it's bleeding into your work and, you know, you're harassing your employees is embarrassing. She then reported this to HR, and HR did what HR does in pretty much all companies ever, which is nothing. And then apparently she brought it up to other employees and they retorted back with saying, it's a joke, which is pretty much the same thing an epic YouTube prankster does as he trips you up in the middle of London and then pours battery acid down your throat.
You don't take people's shit.
My fault, bro.
Nah.
I'm just filming a video.
What?
Apparently in 2013 she was given a bonus of $100, which, like, in my opinion, I think that's pretty measly. But apparently other employees turned around and said, why did you get $100? Like, do the rest of the employees get paid in cashew nuts or something? Why are you so salty over $100? Kaden then said she had to start doing crunch hours, and like anyone in the video game industry knows, crunch hours are grueling. They literally take years off your life. Apparently the hours she was working was 7 in the morning to 11 in the evening. It's just madness. And the worst thing is, apparently, even after all this crunching, they wouldn't even credit her, striking her name from anything she worked in. And at one point, Kaden had enough, and she went to one of the founding members of Rooster Teeth to, you know, confront him. And he basically said, you're too nice for this company. Maybe you should work elsewhere. You know what? That's not bad enough. That's not bad enough. Being told to leave because you're too nice? No. We need to do one step closer to hell. We need to go to the 8th circle. So during a huge amount of layoffs within the company, they gave Kaden an ultimatum. Move to LA, which in of itself is completely horrifying, but moving to LA while staying on your 40 grand a year salary, which, like, for living in LA, I don't know if anyone knows like how bad the housing prices are there. 40k a year probably wouldn't even get you a 10-ton Skid Row. But don't worry, they presented her with another alternative. Get fired. That's it. Move to LA with bad salary or get fired. Now, like I said earlier, she was a prominent voice actor in many Rooster Teeth projects, but towards her leaving, the work she did, she was paid peanuts for it. She'd do voice acting sessions, VOs, and get paid under $30 an hour. And she closes her statement with saying there's a few good people in the company, but overall it's a pretty bad company. And unfortunately, this is an incredibly common thing. There's so much abuse in the workplace, and there are so many companies that have like a few good apples, but the majority of it is just like so bitter, vindictive, and corrupt that it just brings everyone down. Now, I do want to say, let's be contrarian. This is just a twit longer. Why would we believe words on the screen? Well, we should believe words on the screen because one of the biggest members of Rooster Teeth, Gavin, who's also on Slow Mo Guys, came out with his own statement, basically agreeing with everything Kaden said and profusely apologizing. Now, I've read this statement. It does seem like a genuine apology. He's taking full accountability. He's not really trying to push anything under the rug. He's deeply ashamed and sorry for the way he treated Kaden. And surprisingly, Twitter seems to agree as well. He hasn't really been ratioed into oblivion, and most of the replies are like, yeah, you're a piece of shit, but, you know, you were sorry. Now, the thing is, that's Gavin, right? That's one person. The one person who is associated with Rooster Teeth. What do you think the Rooster Teeth Twitter account said? The big brand account. Because it was not as good as Gavin's response. Nowhere near. Now, I do want to say before even getting into the statement, just look at the quote retweets compared to the amount of likes and retweets, and also the fact that the top reply has more likes than the tweet itself. That is the equivalent of disliking a YouTube video. Now, reading the response, it's about as corporate as any kind of response you can think of. They literally open with talking about how old the company is, like 20 years old, or almost to garner pity points. It's the equivalent of Apple saying they've been around as long as African blood diamonds have been. Even having the gall at one point in the statement to say that they gave Kaden a voice. Something that, you know, she made the entire twit longer about for not having a voice. I do want to say as well, whenever I see like a brand account say, we are committed, it's like the universal sign to roll your eyes. Like reading this entire twit longer, it's like what Epic Games would put out when they find out that people are swearing in the Fortnite chat. The irony is this entire statement is very, you know, gray, doesn't really address anything. No points are given. It's just very vague, general, not even really apologetic. But they close with saying, the openness and transparency is critical to our growth and doing better. There it is again with the YouTube apology. All I'm gonna say, honestly, if you're a YouTuber or like a brand and you get into some hot water, never say you'll do better. Never do it. Like you might even mean it. You might even mean it, but it is like the word literally. It is dead and buried, and it will only be used against you. Now, who I think summed up this entire twit longer best is Izzy, who got the top reply. This doesn't address any of the issues that were brought up. You can't opine with how much internal work you've done and how much the company has changed when you can't even bring yourself to include an apology to the employee you called a slur for years on end in your statement. Now, as of now, Rooster Teeth is in like complete meltdown. They have lost so much community respect. Even their subreddit, the mods on that subreddit have now kicked everyone off the team who worked there. This is basically like the American Revolution, but it's Americans against Americans. Someone else, Elena Pierce, also came out agreeing with Kaden's story, saying that Rooster Teeth is just truly a horrible company to work with.
Rooster Teeth was a really shitty place to work, even if I keep thinking some of that's self-inflicted because I didn't deal with the shitty circumstance very well. But yeah, I left Rooster Teeth because I couldn't fucking work there anymore. Like, that's why I left.
I mean, it sucks. Obviously, my condolences go to Kaden, and it's great her voice is being heard. But, you know, Rooster Teeth is a company that I grew up with. I watched Let's Play. I watched Red vs. Blue. Like, I was a nerd for that stuff. And it inspired me to make machinima. And it, in some way, it probably inspired me to do YouTube in a way. But yeah, it sucks. Again, company 3,885,000,000 that's bad behind closed doors. Like, big shocker.
Get this man.